Hey guys, thank you guys for joining me on another episode of Self-Reflection Podcast. I hope that this conversation finds you guys in the best light. In this moment, I want to ask you, if you have yet to subscribe to Self-Reflection Podcast, please go ahead and hit that subscription button. I'll greatly appreciate it as we look to grow a community here. And for everyone that has subscribed to Self-Reflection Podcast, thank you guys so much for being part of our community, for allowing us to create this space where we can share our stories. We can share each other's work with you guys. So again, I want to thank everyone that has subscribed to Self Reflection Podcast, and also for everyone that has, leave a review or a comment. I appreciate all you guys. Those means a lot to me. All right. The reviews, the comments is one of the ways that we get to curate the podcast in something that you guys might enjoy. But let's not waste no more time. Today we're talking to my good old friend here, Pope. I'm going to let Pope introduce himself, should in case you did not listen to the last episode that he was on.
Hello, my name is Pope Flyne. I'm from Ghana, and my legal name is Paul Sean Flyne Aka. That's my family name. I'm a professional musician, and I teach at UC Berkeley. I'm a faculty member, and I also teach in elementary schools, teach dance and music. I'm a professional choreographer, master drummer. So this is what I do in the Bay Area, and I work with all kinds of children.
Yeah.
From TK all the way to college level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I also perform with a band, and sometimes I do a solo performances by myself, do children parties and all that. Yeah.
Pope was one of our artists at AfroFEST. And Pope kind of, I would say, you made AfroFest had the identity that I was like looking for. Yeah, and your presence really gave AfroFest its aroma and like the energy that we needed. So I want to say thank you so much for being in AfroFest, and not only that, just the entire time, even when it was time for us to eat, you were still playing. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Where did you get your name Pope from?
It's so funny. When I was an active performer in Ghana, I was not. I mean, I don't drink.
Mm-hmm.
I don't drink. I don't do any kind of intoxicants or something. But when I'm on stage, I'm very electric. Very. So, and I was always wearing a hat, just like I'm wearing a hat now.
Mm-hmm.
So our promoter, who was a very diligent fella, started calling me Bishop Flyne.
Mm-hmm.
So I was Bishop for some time, and then Ghana had a competition. So they call it Soul Brother competition.
Mm-hmm.
So having all the singers compete among themselves. So during that time, I was able to excel, and I was actually voted the best performance singer by the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like the ECRAG, Entertainment Critics Association, kind of. So it's more, at that time, it's more like the, what do you call it? The award, thing that is happening here, the Grammys
Mm-hmm.
and that. So then after that, I said, now my friend, the producer, comes in and say, now you are not bishop, you are cardinal, And I thought he was playing, so everybody started calling me cardinal, and all the publicity done is a Cardinal Flyne, And I was also always wearing a cross, some beautiful silver cross, dangling, So then that was, and then a group came from the States, the Jackson sisters, not not the Michael Jackson sister, but the other Jackson. They came with this renowned musician from Ghana. It's called Joe Mensah. And they came for a nationwide tour. So my band was the main band that accompanied all the artists, including me, So during that time, I, as usual, put up a great, show. And the producer comes up on stage and says, ladies and gentlemen, this is Cardinal Flyne, but from today onwards, he is Pope Flyne. And, and everybody cheered and,
Yeah.
So after that, it was stuck, And all my friends call me Pope Flyne, Pope, But prior to that, I was called PS, just my initials. So PS vanished and became Pope Flyne.
Yeah, I like it. I like
Yeah.
Pope. It gives it, you have a ring to it. I know you travel all over the world when it comes down to music, right?
Yeah.
What is the one thing that you have seen that connects all musicians together when it comes down to music?
When it comes down to music generally?
Yeah. Is there a connection that you see musicians having around?
Yeah, well, especially when a group is completely together, it's almost like a family, because they interact with each other without even being aware of it, because, if you put in the music field, in Ghanaian music field, we call it shabo shabo. Shabo shabo means shabo musicians. You pick somebody from here, somebody from there, and then they all come together to do a gig.
Yeah.
Just for the money and then go away. That's shabo shabo. But a band is a group that are stuck together. And for my group, for instance, we will practice every day, unless we go on tour. Mondays are day off, and Sundays day off. But the rest of the weekdays, if you are not on tour, you have to practice. So we learn new songs and we keep on, So during the rehearsals, all these kinks, all these mistakes and stuff like that are usually fixed, So then on stage, it's a breeze.
Yeah.
We play, interact. So so when you go to see a show and a band is completely logged in, they are a family.
Yeah.
It's so amazing because and if somebody makes a mistake or play a wrong note or something, they laugh at it.
Yeah.
Hey, boy, and then keep on going, Yeah. But if it's if the group is not together, oh man, confusion, and all the arguments and stuff like that happens during rehearsals, because on stage, come on, man,
Yeah.
you don't show it, on stage, you have to be professional about it. If somebody makes mistakes, so that's fine,
Yeah.
because the dancers, the musicians in there might know it, but the dancers, oh man, they just grooving.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make it too obvious. Say, oh, you made me, oh gosh. Then, that's a taboo, you know.
Yeah.
You don't do that, you know. So that's what makes it more, you know. So as a musician, when you see a band playing and they are, you know, grooving together, you don't feel jealous. You feel happy for that group because, oh man, this band has rehearsed, you know, because they, you know, they jiving, you know. So
Yeah.
that's my main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being in the industry for so long, what keeps that fire in you going, right?
Yeah, you know, like I said, music is some kind of it's very additive. You know, it's kind of like a drug, you know, natural high. You know, when you love music, that's it. That's your, you know, some people play music, you know, they just mix it with, excuse me to say, alcohol and other intoxicants and stuff like that. But then you groove for a while and then you fall off, you know, and then you fall off because you don't have that love for. But if you're really a musician that loves your music, I mean, a little bit of, you know, sip here and there is fine, you know. But if you indulge into it too deeply, then it messes up with your craft,
Yeah.
you know. So I think the best thing, you know, is to play music, especially on stage. You have to be you. And for me, I just bless my stars that music has been my business, you know, because in Africa, I was not doing anything. I'm not a carpenter. I don't have any other skill other than playing music. So sometimes my children will go, Dad, can't you do something else? Something else what? This is something else.
Yeah.
That's music. So then the teaching become the secondary thing, which I really love because it's all connected with music.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm always in the cycle of music, and it makes me, it fulfills me. You know, and
Yeah.
then because I'm a composer and a songwriter, sometimes I will forget. I will not think about music for maybe a week, and then all of a sudden, boom. And then there's nothing else I want to do than just write music, or, you know, because you get inspired. Like, you know, in the other episode, I was telling you about poets are half saints. You know, you think you are writing the music, but it's actually not you. You are being inspired. You are being, the message is sent to you, and then you are the messenger, which, you know, express it out. So if you write positive music, it's very good because it helps the masses, it helps people, and it also educates. You
Yeah.
know, so that's why I just, I'm so very thankful that, you know, I was imparted with this knowledge. You know, so
Yeah.
you know,
Which kind
yeah.
of lead me to our next question is when people listen to your music, what do you hope that they feel inside?
Yeah, I've when people listen to my music, I want them to really understand where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to say. Like there was a children's song that I wrote for some time ago. We call it Bongo Man, Bango, you know, Bango Man, and I was telling, I say, come on, little children, come and enjoy this music. But there are two people of this world that you have to be aware of: the bongo man and the pum pum man. The pum pum man is pompous, you know the word pompous. You know, somebody who disregard everybody, always think he's better than everyone, da 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 da. So that pom pom man, when he's coming around, all the children run away because they don't want to see him because he's going to bring them misery. But the bongo man is always playing his bongos and, you know, singing songs for children to have fun. So these are like a message for kids, something like that. And then when I was working for the YMCA, we did, YMCA camps, like resident camp that we do in the summer for about a month, So in a pescadero. And I'll have the drums, when we're doing campfire, do playing the the congas and the djembe, singing, creating some songs. And I created jungle music. And jungle music, I was, telling a story about a little kid, like kind of like the Tarzan way of, the Tarzan story. But I put it in a way that the kids, relate, and then with the drums, and then it became so when Stevie Wonder's Jungle Fever, I think Jungle Fever came out, and the kids get, oh Pope, Stevie Wonder has stolen your song. I said, how did he steal my song? He is way out there, I'm way out here. The music hasn't been released, so how, But like, the creative mind always comes up. Sometimes you hear a song and you hear another and they look similar, but it's all like the message that is coming out,
Yeah.
You know, unless the person intentionally stole it, that is a different story, So, am I deviating from the question?
I I don't remember the question clearly, but that's okay. I
Yeah.
think it's all relevant. It's all music,
Yeah.
right? I also want to like ask you, who is one person or you don't have to say the name, but that you have worked with that you're saying I would never work with them again, or and
Oh.
why was that?
Oh, wow, that's a list. Yeah, it's a list. There are some musicians that you don't even want to, associate with, you know, because their mentality is different, and they, you know, sometimes they feel like music making is a competition, which is it's not. It's not. My voice can never be your voice. And our brother here's voice can never be my voice. I wish maybe if his voice is, is super, I want that voice, but you can't.
Yeah.
What you have is what you have, you know. But music is an evolving, educative, what do you call it? Article that is not, it's a never ending thing, because sometimes you meet a musician who is so crafty, very special, and then you meet another and say, hey, wow, this guy, wow, everybody has their own, limits, so what you have is yours. Express it, but don't impose it on somebody and thinking that yours is always like if you check the scale, for instance, look at the black keys and the white keys and the sharps and you know they're all right there.
Yeah.
But the way you use them is what makes it either appealing or not appealing. So I knew a musician who says that there is no wrong notes in it. Of course, because otherwise 13th note shouldn't even be happen. Because the notes are all, but they tell a story. They take you to a point where in life there's harmony, there's confusion, and conflicts. But these are all things that we learn. And if conflict is not good for the situation that you're in, you do away with it. Confusion, because I say 1 and 1 is 2, and then you say no, 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 no. 1 and 1 is not 2. So if 1 and 1 is 2, then 2 and 2 is what? Is it 2? So our minds can actually put us into certain situations that we need to learn how to cooperate with each other. There's one musician, very, very, very good guitarist. I'm not going to mention him. May he rest in peace. And he was one of the, So I was invited to join, to come and jam with their band. And I went in and we started, and my harmonies were just, wow, this guy. I mean, he really liked me. All right. Then we came to a specific song. He was calling a different, the chording was, and I said, no, it should be on this side. That was it. He became wild and, so what do you mean? I am the director of the band. You just came here, you come to court. That's it. So he told the band leader, if he's going to be in the band, I'm not going to play.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I went to the leader, he respects me too because we knew each other way back in Africa, So he comes to me and said, no, 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 no. Baba, don't worry about it. That's fine, So, and then they had a gig at Berkeley, Berkeley Park. It was People's Park. Yeah, it was People's Park. So we were doing a free concert there. So I was invited and went, and they were playing. And then the guy, as soon as we made it, comes in. And I said, "Oh, hello, how you doing?" And I shook his hand, and he was like, "What?" I mean, he couldn't understand why, the way he treated me. Why did I welcome him like that? And he went to Baba. So, Baba, you know what? I made a mistake. I like this guy.
Yeah.
So life, sometimes, life of a musician, it takes you to so many angles, left and right, there. But you meet people. There's a band that they were so popular. They came. I mean, yeah, it's a French band. So they were doing sukus, and I don't want to, like you said, I don't want to mention the name, but they were so good. And then they were doing a recording. So the lady who was promoting them knows me, was a good friend, she and her husband. So they invited me, they introduced me to the group, and they said, oh, they want me, they're doing a recording. So I should come and play keyboard for them and talking drum. And man, arguments. Oh, man. Arguments.
Yeah.
I mean, furious, almost like it was going to fight. No fighting. But, it was complete confusion. And they decided they don't want anyone to be chef d'orchestre, that's the band leader. So we are all equal.
Yeah.
So the main guitarist, and I was talking, I said, oh, chef, how? As soon as I say chef, the singer comes to me and says, no, il y a pas le chef ici, hein?
They want to make sure
Yeah, yeah,
everybody's
pas le
equal.
chef ici. No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. There's no chef, no leader here. So, what? You know, so that's one of those.
Yeah.
That's one of those things, and that group was such a prominent, very good group. It didn't last.
Yeah.
It didn't last. You know, they have something good going. They just mess it up. So it's like that. I've met who, but like you said, no mention of names, and then even the band that I became my band in the beginning, they were a little
Tension. Yeah.
and then finally we had, oh wow, we are brothers, and then everything became like a family.
Yeah.
Since then,
I love that. What
Yeah.
music do you have coming out for people to keep an eye on?
Yeah. I'm crazy. I have all this. I have all this music. I have the High Life album that is coming out, and then I have like typical African 6/8 rhythm, polyrhythmic, type of what, like African jungle music, like African jazzy funk kind of thing on the side. And then I have, one of my crazy things like reggae, reggae and kind of like R&B, jazzy mixed with Afrobeat, and I'm a piano kind of, so, crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
So because when music comes to me, I just bring it out.
Yeah.
There's no distinction, So I'm coming out with this thing, and I usually deal with the titles, what it will mean to people. So this one, it says, you don't just have to say it, do it. If you make up your mind to do something, just do it. Don't talk about it. If you talk, James Brown would say talking loud and saying nothing.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, do it. Almost like Nike's emblem,
Just do it.
yeah, just do it, So that is one of the songs that I'm coming up with. And then the other one is our daily, day-to-day life, hustle and bustle, and the, like on the train, you're taking bath or the bus or running or using your bike, the day-to-day life that we have, and I'm trying to talk about it,
Yeah.
But the thing is, even when life is so hard on you and, pressing you down, you don't just have to, you just stand up, So that one is daily, daily grind anthem. You just rise up. Whatever happens, just rise up, and in the night, you shine like the sun.
Yeah.
The sun doesn't shine in the night, but for in your case, yes, you're gonna be shining like the sun in the night.
Yeah.
No dull moment, never a dull moment. So those are the two songs that it's already out. So I'm trying to see it, and then after that, then I'll come up with another, and then so the next thing that I'm going to do is release 2 songs from the High Life album.
Okay.
And then when that is done, then I release 2 songs from the jungle, the African, I call it Dance Africa. Music, kind of like that.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching Self-Reflection Podcast. Also, I want to ask you if you have yet to subscribe in this moment. Please go ahead and hit the subscription button. I greatly appreciate it. And thanks to all our friends and family members who have subscribed to Self-Reflection Podcast. As we close our conversation here, Pope, being in the industry for so long, right? Who is one person that has inspired you as an artist? And what is one mindset that you had that is allowing you to keep going and that you would advise somebody else to maybe adopt and, as they go on their journey?
Yeah, well, since coming to the state, I've met some few musicians, few artists, that has inspired me. There's one, uh, Kenneth Nash, was a very good musician in the Bay Area, and he actually recorded my first album that I did. He gave it for me for free, and he was my squash partner. We used to play squash together at the YMCA. And I've also, like the band leader that I play with, Smart. His name is Baba, Baba Ken. And he used to have a band called Kotoja. It was a very popular band, and I've also played with few other musicians in the Bay Area that inspired me more and more. But for like the main artists and stuff like that, I gravitate more to Stevie Wonder and the way he thinks, the way he writes. His music is more inspiring. She and Alicia Keys, those two are very, very, I like the way they approach music, and they're thinking more of the message
Yeah.
than, because the music is music,
Yeah.
If you really mean to dance, you can dance to anything, but when the music has substance,
Yes.
when it has something good for you, it's good. You can lay on your bed, listen to it, and it inspires you. It will, it opens your mind. It it keeps you on a straight arrow.
Yeah.
Instead of drifting here and there. So songs with substance, those people who write songs like that, is
Yes.
people that I gravitate to and admire. There are a whole lot of them, but
Yeah.
you know we don't we don't have a whole season to to tell.
To talk about them. And what is one mindset that has kept you going on your journey?
One mindset is to at least get one recognizable song that everybody hears it and they sing it. That's the I think that is the main goal for every musician.
Yeah.
All these years, if I can have one song that, I had that in Africa, but here, this is the market, this is the place, or, if you can have one song that everybody sings it, they hear it, it's, oh, yeah, too legit to quit or something like that, something that not not thinking about say making mega millions or whatever, but to be a song that can be recognizable, like people hear it. Oh, you don't just have to say it, do it, or
Yeah.
something like that. Oh, we rise up. You know, we rise up. You don't back down. So something that could keep the spirit up.
Yes.
Uplifting. I have one of the songs that I'm actually using the song in one of my in the concert that we're going to be doing at the college. It's called "The Africans Are Coming." I'll give you a copy after this. And it's not like the Africans are coming to fight you or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a way of mobilizing Africa to wake up and be Africa.
Yeah.
Help the children of Africa and everybody that comes to. So all my songs are more are all geared towards, mobilizing
Yes.
people and giving you, so.
Yeah, thank you again so much for joining us on Self Reflection Podcast. If we want to find you on social media, where can we connect with you?
Well, I'm almost on all of it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your handle?
My Instagram name is at P Flyne.
At P Flyne. We're gonna add that in this conversation description part as well, so that if
And then
people wanna,
Facebook and all that.
yeah, so that people want to connect with you, they can find you as well.
Okay.
Thank you again so much for making
Sure.
AfroFest really incredible last
we
year.
didn't talk about more about what the upcoming AfroFest.
Yes.
We have to make it bigger than we did last.
Yeah.
Make it bigger, and I'll be there. I'll be there with all my drums and all my gear, and then we're gonna swing it.
Yes.
Anybody who comes to all the people that shows up are gonna have fun. And I've actually, extended my library, so more music,
Yes.
more danceable music. We said we're going to be doing more Afrobeat and stuff
Afrobeat,
like
AfroFest, yes, that's what's
Afrobeat,
going to be this year.
gonna be doing
Afrobeat is going to be a
Afrobeat,
big part of AfroFest this
Afrobeat,
year.
high life
High
music, and a little bit and some reggae,
Yeah, if
Root
you're
rock
bringing
re-
that, you're bringing
yeah,
it.
hey, we got to do it.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
to do it. We got to do it. And thank you so much for inviting me, and I appreciate it more than you can think of.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys so much again for joining us. Again, like we were just saying, AfroFest is coming this year again, May 30th. Save the date. We're going to be putting out the venue very soon and the time for AfroFest. It's going to be one of those shows that you do not want to miss. AfroFest comes with a lot. We have fashion shows. Last year we had African outfits there. This year we're bringing something a little bit more. We're still going to have African outfits being designed there, but we're also doing hair, as well. Some African hair, different styles for African hair. We are looking for artists that want to perform at AfroFest. If you are an Afrobeat artist or play some type of African music in the Bay Area, we are looking for you. If you dance, you perform Afro centric type of dance, right? We are looking for you. Also, if you want to be a vendor at AfroFest this year, please reach out to me in my DMs. I'll greatly appreciate it. And also, if you want to be a sponsor or wants to be future at AfroFest, tap in with us. Let's make AfroFest one of those shows that, people want to come back every single year to it. And this is in Oakland. We're bringing this to Oakland. We want Oakland to continue to be the space where we carry AfroFest and, we continue to push the culture in Oakland as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Self Reflection Podcast. I hope that you guys have a phenomenal day. Take care of yourself, love yourself, be kind, and be gentle with yourself. Until next time, you're listening to Self Reflection Podcast, and this is your girl, Lira. Ta-da! Yes, thank you.